My neighbor, Delilah, learned the hard way that micromanaging your babysitter is a recipe for disaster. I've been babysitting for 6 years, and I've dealt with helicopter parents before, but Delilah, she took it to a whole new level. When she hired me to watch her 7-year-old twins, Garrett and Sienna, she handed me a binder, not a pamphlet, not a list, a full 3-ring binder with laminated pages, color-coded tabs, and what I can only describe as a manifesto on childcare. The first night seemed normal enough. Delilah went over the basics. Bedtime at 8 p.m., no sugar after 6 p.m., screen time limited to 30 minutes. Reasonable stuff. Then she pulled out the binder. Inside were rules for everything. How to cut their sandwiches, diagonal only, never straight across. What angle to open the blinds. 45 degrees for optimal natural light. Even instructions on how many squares of toilet paper they were allowed per bathroom visit. I am not joking. It said 4 squares folded twice. I smiled and nodded because the pay was good. But Delilah kept texting me every 15 minutes asking for photo updates and questioning my every move. When I sent a picture of the kids eating apple slices, she actually called me, to say I cut them too thick and they could choke. That's when I decided, fine, you want rules? You'll get rules. The next evening, I arrived with my own printed copy of her binder and a highlighter. Delilah seemed thrilled. She had no idea what was coming. Dinner time arrived, and per page 12, subsection C, meals must be served at exactly 6 p.m., not 5:58, not 6:02, 6 on the dot. So when Sienna asked for dinner at 5:55, I smiled and said, quote, "We have to wait 5 more minutes, sweetie. The rules say so." She looked confused but shrugged. Then came bath time. Page 27 specified water temperature between 98 and 100 degrees Fahrenheit. I pulled out a cooking thermometer and tested it. 97.4, too cold. I drained the tub and started over. Garrett asked why it was taking so long. I showed him the binder and said, "We're following mommy's rules exactly." Bedtime was my masterpiece. Page 41 stated children must be read 3 stories, no more, no less, and tucked in with hospital corners on their sheets. It took me 20 minutes to get those corners right. Garrett was practically asleep standing up by the time I finished, but here's where it gets good. Delilah came home at 10:30 p.m. and found me still there, wide awake in the living room. She asked why I hadn't left yet. I pulled out the binder and showed her page 62, babysitter must remain until parent conducts a full walkthrough inspection of the home and confirms all tasks were completed to satisfaction. Her face went pale. I handed her a checklist. She had to verify I'd wiped down the counters in clockwise circular motions, fluffed the couch pillows to the correct firmness, and returned every toy to its labeled bin. It took her 45 minutes. When she finally finished, I smiled sweetly and reminded her that per page 9, I get paid time and a half for any hours after 10 p.m. She wrote me a check without a word. The next morning, Delilah texted me saying we needed to talk. She asked if we could, quote, relax the rules a little bit. I told her I was just trying to follow her instructions perfectly. Didn't she want the best care for her kids? She hired a new babysitter the following week. I heard through the neighborhood grapevine that the binder mysteriously disappeared. What's the most ridiculous rule you've ever had to follow at work or while babysitting?